Good morning, students. So today we're going to do a new lesson in SS, and let me just begin by showing you a very interesting video, and I'm sure you will understand what exactly our topic is. So let me share the screen with you all. Watch it carefully, listen to it carefully, okay?
Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, born in 1680, was considered as the last great Mughal emperor. He was the third son of Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal. By the time he turned 16, Shah Jahan gave him the post of the governor of Deccan. Aurangzeb moved to Kirki in the Deccan region, which he renamed Aurangabad after him. After some time, Shah Jahan began to favor his eldest son, Dara Shikoh. Aurangzeb soon earned his father's disfavor and was asked to step down from this post. However, after mending ties with his father, he was made governor of Gujarat, where he did well and was rewarded. By 1647, he was made governor of Balkh and Badakhshan, which lie in the present-day Afghanistan and Tajikistan, replacing his ineffective brother Murad Baksh. These areas were constantly attacked by rebels, and Aurangzeb managed to quell them with his military skills. When he was appointed as the governor of Multan and Sindh, he engaged in a long battle in an effort to capture Kandahar from the Safavid army. Unfortunately, Aurangzeb failed to do so, and once again earned his father's anger. He was once again appointed the governor of Deccan. Soon after Shah Jahan fell ill, all his sons began to fight over the throne. Aurangzeb defeated his brother Dara's army and condemned him to death
So who is the father of Aurangzeb? Shah Jahan, right?
and took his father as prisoner. He defeated his other brothers too, and soon after took over the throne at Agra. His rule lasted 49 years. Although his predecessors were tolerant towards all religions, Aurangzeb enforced strict Islamic law called the Fatwa-e-Alamgiri. He destroyed many Hindu temples, prohibited religious meets, and enforced unfair taxes on non-Muslims, which Akbar had removed. Aurangzeb extended the empire both in the northwest and northeast. His armies consisted of some 500,000 camp followers.
So basically, if we see, so Aurangzeb was a kind of a ruler who was kind of, anti-Hindu, okay, because he was, putting extra taxes for the, for the Hindus, and he was not being a fair king, and he was one of the, the most famous ruler of Mughal Empire by the end when the Mughal Empire was coming to an end. So he was one of the finest, last finest ruler.
50,000 camels, and 30,000 war elephants. In a quick span of time, he invaded Punjab and Afghanistan. Because of his restrictive rule, Aurangzeb had many enemies, especially the Sikhs. When he insisted that all
So see, what they are telling you is that Aurangzeb had a lot of enemies. Why? Because he was, only favoring the people who were Muslims. He was trying to be more favorable to them. So the जो Hindus थे या जो Sikh थे, they were getting very angry at Aurangzeb.
Kashmir Brahmins must convert to Islam, the helpless
कश्मीर में जो ब्राह्मण्स थे at that time, कश्मीर में जो ब्राह्मण्स थे, कश्मीर was not, you know, a place where only the Muslims used to live, right? Kashmiri Pandits used to live there, and but Aurangzeb was trying कि वो convert करे अपने आप को मुस्लिम में.
Kashmiris turned to the Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur for help. Aurangzeb refused to listen to his pleas and insisted that he too
So सिखों का एक गुरु थे उस टाइम पे, तेग बहादुर, and he requested Aurangzeb not to put this pressure, but Aurangzeb did not listen.
must convert to Islam. When Tegh Bahadur refused, Aurangzeb had him executed, which triggered a rebellion from the Sikhs. Aurangzeb's army continued to weaken. It was at that time that his
And slowly and gradually, his army was also getting weak. Aurangzeb came.
new enemies, the Marathas, attacked him, led by Shivaji.
The Marathas attacked Aurangzeb when Aurangzeb's army was already getting down.
For 27 years, the two armies fought many battles,
So Marathas and Aurangzeb ki Mughals ki battle happened for like quite a long span of time.
and only after Shivaji's death in 1680 did Aurangzeb and his army get some respite. This relief was short lived, as the Rajput of
So at that time he had won from Marathas, lekin still there were problems coming ahead.
Jodhpur and Mewar joined forces and rebelled against Aurangzeb. They declared themselves independent of his rule. Aurangzeb said
So Aurangzeb ने जहाँ जहाँ capture किया हुआ था, so there were kings who were anti him. They were not happy with Aurangzeb's ruling. So they all joined together. Two of them joined together, and उन्होंने फिर औरंगजेब को attack किया.
his son to quell their rebellions, only to learn later that his son would deceive him.
So basically औरंगजेब का जो son था, बेटा जो था, he only deceived him. मतलब धोखा दिया था उसने अपने father को, औरंगजेब को, and he had been with the other kings and he had attacked Aurangzeb.
Akbar, Aurangzeb's son, declared himself king and soon fled to the Deccan, where he allied with Shivaji's son Sambhaji. Aurangzeb later sent his son into exile in Persia, from where he never returned. Aurangzeb then captured Sambhaji and killed him. The decline of the empire had already begun.
And the decline of Mughal empire was already starting. What happened? What was the reason? Let's listen.
Aurangzeb's political power had weakened because of the time he spent on military matters. His governors and generals became powerful, and many declared themselves independent rulers.
So कई ऐसे जो उसके political ministers थे, they were getting independent. They had so much knowledge by now कि वो लोग अब औरंगजेब को छोड़ के जा रहे थे और independent अपना rule कर रहे थे.
Aurangzeb breathed his last in 1707.
So 1707 में that was the last time when Aurangzeb was alive and he died after that.
Though the empire officially came to an end in 1857,
Or officially Mughal Empire ended in 18.
when Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar was put on trial. It was at that time that the Mughal Empire was completely wiped out.
So by the end of 17th, that was 18th जब start हुआ, so then it just it was like it was a complete decline, complete finish of the Mughal Empire. So our chapter that we are going to do is also related to the same thing. I will just share the screen with you all of the lesson. This is on it. So the chapter that we are going to do is India after the Mughals. All right. So when we talk about Mughals, we know that there were a lot of things happening at that time. Mughals was a very the longest time they had ruled, uh, and they were a strong team. Everything was there, but by the end, जब Aurangzeb had started, declining, and तो उस टाइम पे the Mughal Empire was also declining because उसके बाद जो rulers आए थे, they were not so strong enough. All right. So the first thing that you're going to learn in this chapter are the factors responsible for the decline of the Mughal Empire. Second thing is the rise of the new independent states. That जब Mughal Empire अपने आप decline होने लग गया, तो जो अपने औरंगजेब के ministers थे, they only started to have their own different new states and they started ruling their independent states. So obviously the power of Aurangzeb was going down. Emergence of regional powers मतलब region से related ऐसी powers बन रही थी. Case study of Marathas, that Marathas exactly what they did and what happened between Aurangzeb and Marathas. All right, so these are the four things that you're going to understand and learn in this chapter. Now, tune in. What qualities do you think are required to be an excellent and successful ruler? Even if you, as a monitor in the class, what are the things that you need to be a successful and a very excellent monitor? You need to have leadership skills. You should speak very fluently. You should speak firmly. You should be very clear with the school rules so that you can tell and guide other students, right? So you need to be very alert as a ruler or as a head of some group of people. You have to be very smart, you have to be very vigilant, you have to be very quick, so then only you can take care of a team of people, right? So Aurangzeb was the last prominent ruler of Mughal Empire. Prominent का मतलब होता है most important, या एक बहुत highlighted, एक बहुत important ruler Mughal Empire का last औरंगजेब ही था. उसके बाद भी there were a lot of rulers which came, but they were not so popular. Like in 1707, like I told you, Bahadur Shah came. In 1712, Jahandar Shah came. Then there were many of them who came, and Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah Zafar, 1857 and 18 के end तक, the Mughal Empire had completely vanished. So this is the timeline that you need to really understand. All right. Then comes the factors responsible for the decline of the Mughal Empire. Why and how Mughal Empire decline होने लग गया था. Factors मतलब reasons. Let me write it here so that you people remember. Factors means reasons. ठीक है. Reasons responsible for the decline. Decline मतलब the fall. The fall of the or the decline or is the fall of the Mughal Empire. Mughal Empire क्यों downfall में जा रहा था? Now, towards the closing years of the 17th century, जब 17th century के closing years जब खत्म हो रहा था, the Mughal Empire witnessed several crises. बहुत सारी problems आने लग गई. The downfall of the empire began immediately after the death of Aurangzeb. When Aurangzeb died in 1707, that was the beginning of the 17th century. At that time only, Aurangzeb, because he had died and he was one of the most finest or the smartest ruler that we can say of his time, of this empire. So उस time पे already the empire was falling out. So there were number of factors that ultimately led to the decline of Mughal Empire. So बहुत सारे factors. That means बहुत सारे reasons for the ultimately मतलब finally the final decline, जो एक final decline था, that let me just erase this. ठीक है. So factors means ठीक है. Factors का meaning you people know. Yes, this also. Factors means the reasons. तो बहुत सारे factors, बहुत सारे reasons थे that ultimately, that finally, the Mughal Empire had declined, finished off. So number 1 point. See this answer, this question when it comes the factors, and give the factors or the reasons responsible for the decline of Mughal Empire. So you will write this answer always in points, because now your classes are increasing. You're going in seventh, you'll go in eighth and ninth. Now your answers, the big long answers, have to be always in points. Okay. So the first point that is the economic crisis. So economic crisis का क्या मतलब है यहाँ पे? The Mughal Empire reached its zenith during the reign of Aurangzeb, but the endless wars and long drawn Deccan campaign depleted the financial and military sources of his empire. So वो ये कह रहे हैं basically that because औरंगजेब के टाइम पे at this time especially by the end wars इतनी ज्यादा होने लगी थी, so many people had started attacking औरंगजेब्स region that he had to spend so much time with the military that he was not able to manage his finances. Obviously, अगर military में you are fighting, you're putting a war, so obviously the other king will also, try to destroy the property of your area and everything. लोग आपके soldiers will die. Even the tools that they used that time to fight were destroyed, और उसके ऊपर बहुत money और लगता था. So the resources, financially money was just getting off, बहुत कम होता जा रहा था. The number two point is the weak administration. Weak administration, I have told you several times, administration is also that your pratik sir is handling in your school. The number of students in the school, what all the rules are there that have to be followed, all the teachers and details and everything. Everything is pratik sir's, you know, uh, work, his administration. So during the weak and incompetent later Mughal emperors, जब मुगल emperors दूसरे आए, so the empire was getting weak. The administration was neglected. Administration को ध्यान नहीं दिया जा रहा था. Neglected means ignoring. Neglected means it was being ignored. Neglected means ignore. ठीक है? All right. And even law and order broke down in various parts of the empire. और in fact law and order भी जो था हर जगह पे टूट रहा था. People were not following it. It became very difficult for them to keep a check on their mansabdars. The mansabdars कौन थे? The people who were, taking the money and giving the money to the king. That was also not happening now properly. Governors, the Subedars controlled important offices of revenue and military administration had begun to extract maximum revenue from the peasantry. अब क्या हो रहा था? Because the king was not having too much control over things, so these people जिनके पास power थी कि वो पैसे ले सकते थे दूसरों से, so they were trying to take the money from the peasants, the people who were working very hard, जो एग्रीकल्चर कर रहे थे, जो अपनी मेहनत करते थे, उनसे ज्यादा पैसे लेके people were the kings, जो head थे, they were doing their own फायदा, अपना फायदा निकाल के, and they were just moving on. These provincial governors utilized their extraordinary powers and consolidated their position, due to which the state revenue declined. और क्योंकि जो रेवेन्यू स्टेट के लिए आ रहा था, जो किंग के लिए आ रहे थे पैसे, जो कॉमन लोग अपने पैसे दे रहे थे एज अ टैक्स, वो जो मनी था वो अब चोरी हो रहा था, वो अब जो मुगल रूलर था उसको नहीं मिल रहा था, बिकॉज दीज पीपल वर गेटिंग वेरी स्मार्ट. The next point, which is the third point, is the revolt of peasants and zamindars. Now, here what they mean is the increased taxes on the peasants. जो increased taxes कर दिए गए थे peasants पे, and zamindars made their rebellious. Okay, made them rebellious. और zamindars ने उनको rebellious मतलब एक लड़ाई kind of होने लग गई. ठीक है, पीजेंट्स की और जमींदार्स की. जमींदार्स कौन थे? जो लैंडलॉर्ड्स टाइप होते थे, जो लैंड का रेवेन्यू लेते थे. सो many revolts broke out in parts of northern and western India. नॉर्थ एंड वेस्ट इंडिया में बहुत सारी ऐसी रिवोल्ट्स, ऐसी लड़ाइयां होनी शुरू हो गई पीजेंट्स और जमींदार्स के बीच में, बिकॉज जमींदार्स ने एक्स्ट्रा इंक्रीज कर दिया था टैक्स, एंड पीजेंट्स के पास इतने पैसे थे ही नहीं कि वो अपना सब सारे जितना भी मनी उन्होंने कमाया है, इफ दे गिव एवरीथिंग टू जमींदार, दे विल नॉट बी लेफ्ट विद एनीथिंग. उनके पास कोई पैसे नहीं होंगे तो हाउ विल दे डू देयर वर्क, हाउ विल दे लिव with their families, how will they support their families? So they were now able to seize the resources of the region to strengthen their position. तो वो क्या कर रहे थे? जमींदार were trying to control these areas, resources को block कर रहे थे, अपनी power को strong कर रहे थे. This ultimately led to a shift in the political economic authority into the hands of governor and various other groups. तो ऐसे ही बहुत सारे गवर्नर्स जो थे उनके हाथ में पावर आ रही थी, पॉलिटिकल इकोनॉमिक, मतलब पैसे भी आ रहे थे, और वो अपने मिनिस्टर्स, अपने ग्रुप ऐसे भेज रहे थे डिफरेंट जगहों पे जहाँ पे वो कंट्रोल कर सके उस एरिया को. Soon the Mughal Empire gradually fragmented into a number of regional states. और इसी तरीके से जो पूरा मुगल एम्पायर एक किंग के पास था वो पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड हो रहा था और अलग अलग रीजनल स्टेट्स बन रही थी. नेक्स्ट कम्स द फॉरेन इन्वेजन, द फोर्थ पॉइंट. In the middle of the political and economic crisis, जब political economic crisis already the problem, crisis means the problem जब already चल रही थी, नादिर शाह, the ruler of Persia, Iran, plundered the city of Delhi. His invasion caused considerable damage to the Mughal Empire. और जब नादिर शाह came and he wanted to attack, he attacked Delhi, तो मुगल एम्पायर और ज्यादा जो था was getting out of control. He was not able to handle this king. His invasion caused considerable damage to the Mughal Empire and further repeated invasions of Ahmad Shah Abdali, the Afghan ruler between 1748 to 1761. So काफी जो मुगल एम्पायर था वो काफी कंट्रोल आ रहा था बाकी किंग्स के जो बाहर से फॉरेन कंट्री से आके अटैक कर रहे थे. और ये क्यों हो रहा था? बिकॉज द किंग जो उस टाइम पे जो किंग था ही वाज नॉट एबल टू हैव अ प्रॉपर फुल कंट्रोल ओवर द एम्पायर. I will just discuss this last point here. Fifth point, rivalry among the nobility. Rivalry मतलब एक दुश्मनी type between the nobility. The Mughal Empire was furthermore weakened by the rivalry among the later Mughal nobility. जो मुगल के और जो रूलर्स थे आपस में उनकी भी लड़ाई होने लग गई थी. The nobility was divided into two major groups, namely Iranians and Turanis. The later Mughals were mere puppets in their hand. और जो मुगल एम्परर्स जो आ रहे थे उस टाइम मुगल्स जो आ रहे थे they were just being puppets of them. The nobles plunged the empire into bitter civil wars. बहुत सारी लड़ाइयाँ शुरू हो गई, बहुत सारी कंफ्यूजन शुरू हो गई. लोग बहुत टाइप की ऐसी कॉन्स्पिरेसीज ऐसी प्लानिंग कर रहे थे कि the region of Mughal empire was just getting divided into more parts just to secure powers for themselves. अपनी पावर को अच्छा बनाने के लिए the Iranians and Turanians वो जो थे मुगल्स को they were just treating them as जो मुगल लोग थे जो वहाँ पे जो मुगल एम्पायर के जो पीपल थे उनको एज अ पपेट बना लिया था कि जो हम बोलेंगे आपको वही करना पड़ेगा. राइट. ऑलराइट. Mughal tradition of success, arrival of British. All right, so two more points are there. I think we should finish this also. So the Mughal tradition of succession. This is the sixth point. Mughal tradition of succession. The Mughal emperors followed the Timurid tradition of dividing the inheritance among all the sons. तो मुगल emperors जो थे they followed a rule जहाँ पे वो जो जितना भी whatever money and everything they have the empire has वो सारे बेटों में equally divide कर देंगे. In many cases the death of the empire was followed emperor was followed by conflicts over succession among the claimants to the throne. So अगर एक किंग अभी रूल कर रहा है तो उस किंग की जब डेथ होती थी तो उसके जो बेटे थे वो आपस में लड़ने लग जाते थे that who will now rule this Mughal empire. During the so during the 18th century, the 18th century start हुई, uh, these wars of succession became more fierce, destructive, causing loss of life, prestige, destruction of property. So बहुत ज्यादा लड़ाइयाँ शुरू हो गई थी because the sons जो आगे मुगल emperors के जो आगे सन थे they were more silly I would say कि वो they were not so smart. वो आपस में ही लड़ रहे थे. They wanted everybody wanted कि हम इस मुगल एम्पायर का किंग बन जाए चाहे उनको नॉलेज हो या ना हो. सो उससे लड़ाइयाँ ज्यादा हो रही थी एंड जो भी चीजें उस टाइम पे बनी थी द मॉन्यूमेंट्स और द पैलेसेस और द प्लेसेस वो सब भी डिस्ट्रॉय हो रही थी. लोग एक दूसरे को अटैक कर रहे थे वो जो आपस में ब्रदर्स ही थे. Aurangzeb's weak and inefficient successors only hastened the process of decay. So basically वो कह रहे हैं औरंगजेब के जो आगे successors थे जो आगे उसके बेटे थे उनके बेटों के बेटे थे वो सब जो थे they were being so stupid that they were इंक्रीजिंग द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिक्लाइन, मुगल एम्पायर को और खत्म करने के लिए और जल्दी कर रहे थे, बिकॉज दे वर यूजिंग नॉट देयर ब्रेन, दे वर जस्ट यू थिंकिंग अबाउट देम सेल्स। वो चाहते थे कि हमें एम्पायर मिल जाए, हमें एम्पायर मिल जाए, और पूरा एम्पायर वॉज गेटिंग डाउन। सो दिस वॉज द सिक्स्थ पॉइंट। द लास्ट पॉइंट इज द सेवेंथ पॉइंट, arrival of the British. So the last point was जब Britishers आ गए थे, the already weakened Mughal Empire received a staggering blow with the arrival of Britishers. Britishers जब आए by 1765, the British had brought major territories of eastern India under their control, soon emerged as the master of India. And Britishers came at the very right time, because उन्होंने देखा मुगल जो उस टाइम पे जो रूलर्स थे, दे ब्रिटिशर्स को ये समझ आ गया था that they are fighting with themselves only. अगर आपस में ब्रदर्स हैं वो, तो दे आर फाइटिंग विद themselves only. तो इसका फायदा उठाओ। जैसे कि दो दो ब्रदर्स हैं, वो चाहते हैं कि मेरे को रूलर बना दे, और दूसरा कह रहा है मुझे रूलर बनाए। तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने क्या किया, दे स्टार्टेड टेलिंग सम नेगेटिव थिंग्स अबाउट देयर ब्रदर टू वन ब्रदर, और दूसरे वाले को उसकी बुराइयां करने लग गए, एंड दे स्टार्टेड मेकिंग देम फाइट मोर। और उन्होंने क्या किया, उनकी फाइटिंग में उन्होंने उनके ही जो एरियाज थे उनको रूल करना ब्रिटिशर्स ने स्टार्ट कर दिया था। और बाय 1765 जो ब्रिटिशर्स थे, उन्होंने इंडिया को मास्टर कर लिया था। दे वर ऑलरेडी रूलिंग ईस्ट इंडिया ऑफ ईस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द इंडिया। द माइटी मुगल एम्पायर वॉज रिड्यूस्ड टू अ स्मॉल डिस्ट्रिक्ट अराउंड दिल्ली। तो दिल्ली के आसपास कुछ ही एरिया रह गया था जो मुगल एम्पायर अब बचा था। बाकी सब जो थे, that was divided into different rulers, and Britishers were ruling it, and सबके name change कर दिए गए थे, and the later Mughals never regained the authority and dignity of their early days. और जो जो लेटर मुगल्स, जो बाद में जो मुगल्स आए थे रूलर्स, वो कभी भी वो पावर को जो मुगल एम्पायर की थी उस टाइम पे, उसको वापस नहीं हासिल कर पाए। बट दे डिड मैनेज टू रूल सम पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया टिल 1850s। बट 1850 तक भी कुछ रूलर्स थे जो थोड़े से स्मार्ट थे, या कुछ रूल कर पा रहे थे पार्ट्स ऑफ इंडिया, वो कर रहे थे। However, the final blow to the Mughal Empire was in 1857. लेकिन 1857 में पूरा मुगल एम्पायर खत्म हो गया था। The last Mughal emperor, like you can see here also, the timeline, बहादुर शाह थे in 1857, the last ruler थे मुगल के। uh, uh, Bahadur Shah's participation in the Great Uprising of 1857 come, brought the complete collapse of the Mughal Empire, and his sons were killed, and he was exiled to Rangoon, present day Yangon, Myanmar, where he died in 1862. So Bahadur Shah को ब्रिटिशर्स ने कैप्चर किया, पकड़ा, and they had killed his all his sons। और जो बहादुर शाह था उसको रंगून, एक देयर वाज दिस प्लेस जहाँ पे उन्होंने उसको भेज दिया था, और वहां पे ही वाज लिविंग a very bad life, and he had died in 1862. So Mughal Empire finished in 1857। The Britishers ने एक रिवोल्ट करी थी, which is a very famous revolt। जब आप ब्रिटिशर्स की इंडिपेंडेंस की स्टोरी पढ़ेंगे ऑफ इंडिया, तो you will know कि 1857 was a very important year in the history of India, because that was the time when Britishers had started controlling India almost completely. All right, so here we are going to stop, and your work is to go through the back questions, जो भी questions back में है related to this topic that we have done, complete those and send your answers to me. All right, and also start doing your workbook, and please send your questions or queries side by side by tomorrow. Thank you.